Hello everyone. Have you ever wondered why some people can enjoy a drink socially while others spiral into a life controlling addiction? Today we are going to unpack the architecture of addiction, a public health analysis of substance use disorders, global burden, and multidimensional interventions. Addiction is best understood through three interacting domains. The first is the agent, which is the dependence producing capacity and psychoactive profile of the substance itself. The second is the host, which includes individual physiological tolerance, psychological maladjustment, and motives for initiation. The third is the environment, which covers societal catalysts, socio-economic displacement, rapid urbanization, and community enablers. Let us understand how drug abuse turns into drug dependence. Drug abuse is voluntary, non medical self administration in quantities that impair an individual's ability to function effectively. With continued use, tolerance develops, which is the biological necessity to consistently increase the dose to achieve the same effect. This tolerance pushes the user toward drug dependence, which has two components. Psychological compulsion is the overpowering desire to take the drug continuously to experience its psychic effects. Physical withdrawal is the physiological discomfort and violent symptoms that appear when the drug is absent. Now, let us look at the psychoactive agents matrix, which compares different substances. Amphetamines are synthetic stimulants that cause elation and energy. With high tolerance potential and strong rapid psychic dependence, though no physical dependence, cocaine is a plant based stimulant from coca that causes excitement and hallucinations with strong psychic dependence but no tolerance or physical dependence. Barbiturates are synthetic depressants that cause sedation with high tolerance and both strong physical and psychic dependence. Cannabis, derived from hemp, alters consciousness and causes relaxation with moderate tolerance and strong psychic dependence but no physical dependence. Heroin, a narcotic analgesic, has high and rapid tolerance with strong and early physical and psychic dependence, making it extremely dangerous. LSD is a synthetic psychotogenic agent that alters perception with unknown tolerance and no physical or psychic dependence. Let us now look at the global burden caused by legal agents, starting with alcohol and tobacco. Alcohol currently has 2.3 billion drinkers globally, highest in Europe and the Americas, and causes 3 million deaths every year, primarily through road traffic injuries, interpersonal violence, and liver cirrhosis. Tobacco has 1.1 billion current smokers, with 80% living in low and middle income countries, and it causes 7 million annual premature deaths, including 890,000 deaths from passive smoking, mainly through lung cancers and cardiovascular diseases like stroke and heart attack. Let us dive deeper into the epidemiological toll of alcohol. Here is an important pharmacology alert. Alcohol is not a stimulant. It is a primary and continuous central nervous system depressant that produces strong psychic dependence. Looking at mortality demographics, alcohol causes 2.3 million deaths among men, accounting for 106.5 million disability adjusted life years, and 0.7 million deaths among women, accounting for 26.1 million disability adjusted life years. Looking at the 2016 global mortality breakdown, injuries such as road accidents, self harm, and violence account for 28.7%, digestive diseases account for 21.3%, cardiovascular diseases account for 19%, infectious diseases account for 12.9%, and cancers account for 12.6%. To tackle this burden, the World Health Organization has outlined key intervention pillars for alcohol policy. These include regulating marketing, especially marketing targeted to youth, restricting physical availability, reducing demand through taxation and pricing mechanisms, enacting strict drink driving policies, raising public health awareness, and providing accessible treatment and brief intervention screening in health services. Moving to tobacco, let us map its anatomical impact across the body. In the brain and nervous system, it causes stroke and transient ischemic attack. In the eyes, it causes cataract and macular degeneration. In the mouth and throat, it causes oral, laryngeal, and esophageal cancers, along with periodontal disease. In the heart and vessels, it causes coronary heart disease and aortic aneurysm. In the lungs, it causes lung cancer, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, worsened asthma, and emphysema. In the stomach and abdomen, it causes stomach and pancreatic cancer along with peptic ulcers. In the reproductive system, it causes infertility, impotence, cervical cancer, and miscarriage. And across bones and skin, it causes osteoporosis, delayed fracture healing, early wrinkling, and psoriasis. Tobacco also causes hidden collateral damage. Passive smoking exposes others to both exhaled smoke and smoke from the burning end of a cigarette. The 1981 Takeshi Hirayama study conducted in Japan provided early definitive evidence that non smoking wives married to smoking men suffered a significantly increased risk of dying from lung cancer. For women and pregnancy, the combination of oral contraceptives and smoking markedly increases adverse cardiovascular effects. Fetal risks include intrauterine growth retardation, low birth weight averaging 200 grams less, enhanced HIV transmission to the fetus, and sudden infant death syndrome. Let us localize this threat using the Global Adult Tobacco Survey, or GATS-2, India data from 2016 to 17. 28.6% of all adults in India currently use tobacco. Looking at demographics, 42.4% of men use tobacco compared to 14.2% of women. The most common products are khaini and bidi. In workplaces, 3 in 10 adults working indoors are exposed to second-hand smoke. On the policy front, warning labels prompted 62% of cigarette smokers and 54% of bidi smokers to consider quitting. There are other critical agents we must be aware of. Volatile solvents such as glue, petrol, and paint thinner are extremely dangerous, as they can cause death on the first occasion, along with convulsions and lead encephalopathy from leaded gasoline, producing effects comparable to alcohol. Anabolic steroids fall under ICD-10 category F55, and their abuse as non-dependence producing substances used for muscle mass can cause extreme mood swings, aggressiveness, paranoid delusions, and severe withdrawal fatigue. Caffeine, with 10 billion pounds consumed yearly through coffee, can cause caffeineism when intake exceeds 500 milligrams a day, leading to anxiety, agitation, and insomnia, while withdrawal leads to headache, irritability, and lethargy. Let us now examine the host, meaning the individual vulnerabilities that predispose someone to addiction. Demographic shifts show that the average age of users is rapidly decreasing and multiple drug use is increasingly becoming the clinical norm. Motivations for initiation include curiosity, peer pressure, and a desire to escape tension or frustrations, such as unemployment or exam failure. The psychological profile of vulnerable individuals often shows high rates of social and psychological maladjustment, along with a marked unwillingness to accept minor discomforts. Next, let us look at the environment, the societal catalysts that fuel addiction. On the family and social front, broken homes, one-parent families, relaxed parental control, and profound alienation from family structures play a major role. On the socio-economic front, unemployment, leaving school early, and the immense impact of digital and media culture, including mobile phones, the internet, and disco culture, are significant contributors. On the geographic front, migration to cities, large urban environments, areas with high crime rates, and areas where drugs are actively produced or traded all increase risk. Let us look at India specific national survey data from 2018. Alcohol use affects 16 crore individuals, which is 14.6% of the population, dominated by Desi Sharab and Indian made foreign liquor, including 2.9 crore dependent users. Cannabis use affects 3.1 crore users, with 2.2 crore using legal bhang and 1.3 crore using illegal ganja or charas, with highest use in Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Sikkim, and Delhi. Opioid use affects 2.3 crore users of heroin, pharmaceutical opioids, and opium, including 28 lakh dependent users. People who inject drugs number 8.5 lakh individuals, predominantly injecting heroin and pharmaceutical opioids with high rates of risky practices. When these three elements of the triad collide, highly addictive agents, vulnerable hosts, and high risk environments, we see the perfect storm resulting in the clinical symptoms of addiction. These symptoms include loss of interest in daily routine, unsteady gait and tremors, weight loss, reddening of eyes, slurring of speech, injection marks on the body, acute anxiety and profuse sweating, depersonalization, and impaired memory. Preventing addiction requires a triad of prevention as well. The legal approach involves imposing restrictions on availability, prescription, and price, mandating health warnings, and prohibiting sales to minors and public smoking. The educational approach involves utilizing mass media, where messages must be clear, unambiguous, specific, and originate from highly credible sources and cannot operate in isolation. The community approach involves empowering primary healthcare and non governmental organizations and providing alternative activities such as sports, arts, and public policy initiatives to teenagers to prevent drift into drug subcultures. Finally, let us understand clinical treatment through the relapse loop. It begins with identification and motivation, followed by detoxification through hospitalization, then post detox counseling and psychotherapy, followed by rehabilitation through vocational training and sheltered work. However, an environmental trigger can pull the individual back into the cycle. The core insight here is that medical care is only the first step. Without a complete break from the user's high risk environment, including social circles and locations, the chances of relapse are extremely high. To summarize, addiction arises from the collision of the agent, the host, and the environment. Legal substances like alcohol and tobacco cause the largest global burden of death and disease, while illicit substances like heroin and volatile solvents carry their own severe risks. Effective prevention and treatment require a combined legal, educational, and community approach, along with sustained rehabilitation that addresses the environment driving relapse. Addiction must always be viewed not as a moral failing, but as a complex public health disorder. The key takeaway here is that addiction is not a moral failing. It is a severe health disorder resulting from the continuous collision of these three specific public health domains. Hope you have understand about the architecture of addiction. Thank you.